are our Spanish for Spanish speaker students? Students who are new to schools in the United States, students who possibly are underschooled in their primary language, students who are heritage speakers of Spanish and are undereducated, maybe they don't know how to read and write yet, and then we have heritage speakers of Spanish who are educated. Maybe they went to school for a little bit in Mexico or some Spanish-speaking country, or maybe their parents simply taught them how to read and write in Spanish. I will say we also have some of our students who maybe came out of a bilingual program, or they came out of a bilingual program in Mexico where Spanish was actually their second language and some indigenous language like Nahuatl or Mixtec was one of their first languages. So we have a wide variety of students who are Spanish for Spanish speakers. And as you could see, placement is an issue with these types of students. Where would they go if our ultimate pathway is AP language? Why did we change our Spanish for Spanish speakers program? What was really the problem? Well, if we look at the basics, students weren't getting A through G credit for Spanish speakers 1. That means it wouldn't count for them if they transferred to a UC or CSU California University. Compared to our target language students, the classes in which English-only students are learning Spanish as a foreign language, we were looking at a very inequitable situation. The curriculum being used at each site and actually in each classroom was completely different. There needed to be a distinction between native and non-native goals. Obviously, the needs of a native or a heritage speaker studying their own language is completely different from those learning a foreign language for the first time. A good analogy would be that we would not want to put a native English speaker into an ESL classroom just because there was room. The goals of an English as a second language class are different to those of an English language arts classroom. In order to maintain a high expected outcome for our students, we needed to align our curriculum to the standards. The placement in these classes was terrible. No one had taken the time to really figure out what level students should be in. In one class, you could have a student who could not read or write in Spanish with students who had attended school in a Spanish-speaking country for many years. To better serve the students, placement would have to be tackled in order to minimize the amount of differentiation that had to take place within the classroom. There was no existent professional training for Spanish speaker teachers. How could we change the program if we didn't have the skills that we needed to teach these classes? So what did we do to fix this problem? First, what we had to do was align to the language arts standards for the state of California. It says on page 270, and this was established in 1999, that if anyone is going to be educated in their primary language, then we need to align to the language art framework and standards. Of course, we need to include the 5 C's of the foreign language framework, but if our main goal was for reading and writing, of course we need to follow the language arts framework. As well, we use this as a support for our English classes for all types of speakers, heritage speakers, native speakers of Spanish, English learners. And then lastly, we wanted to make sure it was a solid preparation for the AP Spanish language exam and AP Spanish literature exam. That way we can pave the way for students taking other AP courses in the future. By rewriting the curriculum for Spanish speakers, we were able to get the A through G credit for Spanish speakers 1. Now we continue to have support and professional development for our Spanish for Spanish speaker teachers by meeting 4 times a year and working as a team through a professional learning community. And as a team, we continue to revisit and revise our Spanish for Spanish speakers curriculum, making changes to better accommodate our students. Thank you for taking the time to learn about our Spanish for Spanish speakers program. For more information and documents that support our courses, please visit my website and take the time to view the other short videos in this series. Adios!